Someone made a post on Reddit asking those who'd been in the military to reveal the strangest things they'd encountered. One man detailed that he and his team had encountered something strange in the sky, although he didn't disclose the location or his name, saying that he didn't want to give himself away. He said that during the early 2000s, he and his team were patrolling an area during the night, and it was during this patrol that they all witnessed something they couldn't explain. He said that night patrols weren't uncommon, but said that it only made the experience more eerie, saying that he was glad it wasn't just him that was out there. He and his team observed what appeared to be a large pulsating orb, saying that it was bright, was able to pulsate, could move around the sky at extreme speeds without making a sound, and was also incredibly hard to focus on. The other members were just as confused, as they couldn't link it to something they had seen. He said the following: "I couldn't understand what this thing was. None of us could. It was flying around in the sky at high speeds, stopping and then shooting away again. It was like this thing was searching for something. There was no navigation like that you'd see on a passenger plane or a stealth fighter. In fact, this thing wasn't even in the shape of a plane. It was more like a sphere." End quote. During the encounter, the team watched as this thing flew around in the sky, pulsating and stopping and then flying away again. They estimated that this object was between 10 and 20 feet, but said it was hard to make an accurate guess as to how big this was. They also noted that it was extremely hard to focus on, saying that one of the team got out their field binoculars and tried to see what this thing was. But he said no matter how hard they tried, they couldn't focus on this object. He said it was like this object was giving off something, and this stopped him from being able to get a good look at it. The whole encounter lasted no longer than 5 minutes, and left each one of the team confused about what they just witnessed. He said it was also unnerving to see such a thing while they was out in the field. He said that word got back to higher personnel about the encounter, noting that it wasn't him that told anyone. He said though he was pulled aside by higher ranking officials and was asked about the encounter. He detailed everything, but when he asked them about what they thought it was, he was told that it was likely nothing, and said that they told him that he won't be talking about this event further. He said that the manner in which they said it almost came across as threatening. Although he said he listened and that the team didn't discuss it further, it only caused him to question it even more. He's not sure whether this was some type of experiment that they'd witnessed by accident, or whether this was a UFO, with him noting that this type of subject is not openly talked about. He said that after going online, he saw that he wasn't the only one who'd seen similar looking crafts, and even said that he'd reached out to people in order to get to the bottom of what it was that he and his team encountered. He ended by saying that he's never seen anything similar. Interestingly, everything that the military official said mirrors what others have seen. These objects are often described as glowing unidentified flying objects, or some just call them orbs. They're notoriously difficult to photograph, as amateur researchers say they give off some type of field that makes them look constantly blurry. They said it's one of the reasons why these crafts are so difficult to photograph. These objects have been seen and photographed worldwide, with recent ones being captured above Turkey. Some describe the UFO as being a series of glowing lights that stayed in a strict formation, while others said the lights actually belonged to one craft, saying this was in the shape of a triangle or a boomerang. Those who saw the lights said it moved slowly in the sky without making a sound. Not long after this, eyewitnesses started to post their photographs online, which in turn caused people from around the world to question what was happening. This caused a hashtag to go viral, with hundreds of thousands of people talking about it, and retweeting and liking the images that were posted. What was strange though is that many of these images soon started to vanish, with accounts being blocked and others who engaged in the conversation being silenced. It came as no surprise that people wanted answers for what was going on, with one person saying the following: "Are we just going to ignore the fact that there's a giant silent craft above Turkey right now?" While another person said this: "Why are images being taken offline? Thousands of people are seeing these things, yet there's no answer of what they are." Others have reported these glowing objects are able to move between things like buildings and forests, saying that they're extremely agile and much faster than anything we have. Even the government have started to open up about these crafts, and have said in declassified documents that they were able to outmaneuver their jets, and then would suddenly vanish into nothing. These eyewitness accounts and documents have caused a variety of different theories to be put forward. Believers have said it's obvious that these mysterious crafts are under intelligent control, while non-believers have said they could be things like natural phenomena, although many don't believe this, as it's obvious that these crafts are being controlled, because whenever they're approached or chased they fly off. As of right now, there's no definitive answer for what these crafts are, and how they're able to do the things they do. Believers in the unknown have said that we should keep watching the skies, but recent reports have shown us that we may have overlooked one location, and that's our oceans. There has always been whispers of mysterious crafts seen in and around our oceans, with fishermen and Navy officials coming forward and detailing the mysterious reports, although skeptics would quickly try to downplay what they were seeing. Now though, documents, testimonies and eyewitness reports have proven that these people were onto something, as various other pilots and Navy officials have said there's mysterious crafts beneath our oceans. US submarines have detected mysterious underwater crafts, saying that they're travelling hundreds of knots beneath the ocean. Tom Rogan was one of the people who shared this story, saying that the United States Navy has data showing that submarines have detected a number of mysterious high-speed crafts, with them buzzing naval ships and then disappearing at fast speeds. Mr. Rogan said the following about the reports: "I think that what we may be looking at is a true unknown, which is to say intelligently controlled machinery that is not understood to be in possession of the United States, China or Russia, which are the three most advanced countries in terms of military aviation. Researching this, there isn't anything that we have, top secret information about China or Russia, or what we have at any of our top secret installations that can do what these things do in terms of performance." He continued with the following: "In the coming months and years, an area we will learn more about is the interaction between US Navy submarines, nuclear submarines and attack submarines, picking up sonar contact of things moving at hundreds of knots under the ocean. So there is an undersea dimension to this that the Navy has sort of pushed off to the side, as the pilots talk more about their experiences. One of the things we're going to find is that over a period of decades, a lot of the data, a lot of the measurement of these things has been put off as technical aberration, or essentially a data malfunction, because they didn't want to really admit that something very special and serious is going on here. Researchers have said the US Navy is well aware of what these objects are, and that at the moment they aren't releasing too much information about these things, with some amateur researchers saying that in the past Navy officials have detailed what they're picking up on, and have said that these mysterious crafts have been seen entering and exiting the ocean, have a form of propulsion that is not understood, are able to enter the ocean without making a splash, and can easily outmaneuver things like jets. It's these descriptions that have led to these objects being called USOs, or unidentified submerged objects. Although many of us are aware of unidentified flying objects, USOs are not covered as much, meaning that there's a lot we really don't know about them. As mentioned, for years people have described seeing these mysterious lights rise out of the water and then fly away at extreme speeds. But when nuclear submarines that have the world's best listening equipment pick up on them, and can't explain them, it means that the subject needs to be taken more seriously. Astronomer Mark D. Antonio was taken on an attack submarine, and during this the sub encountered an unknown fast-moving object on sonar. He said the following: As a thank you for doing some work for them, the Navy asked me if I wanted to go for a ride in a submarine, so I said yes. Once we got under, I was sitting in the sonar station, and the sonar operator was sitting right next to me. Submarines are loud. People think they're very quiet, and it's true that they are on the outside because the sound doesn't get out, but inside you hear fans. There's constant noises on a sub. I was sitting there zoning out a little because I was seasick, and all of a sudden the sonar kid shouts out fast mover, and I'm jolted awake, thinking what's happening, is it a torpedo? The executive officer comes out, and the operator shows him the path of the object, and the officer says how fast is that going, and the kid said several hundred knots. I started to lean forward and listen in, and the officer said, can you confirm it? So we went to another sonar machine and confirmed that it wasn't a machine anomaly. It was real. I thought, wow, that's incredible. When the sonar guy said, what should I do with this? The officer said, log it and dog it. In other words, log it and bury it. 4 years later, Mark asked a senior naval figure about what he saw, saying the following: can you tell me about the fast mover program? He looked at me and said, sorry Mark, I can't talk about that program. So he basically confirmed to me that the program exists. There's definitely no shortage of these mysterious crafts, and recent comments by US officials have only caused people to demand answers for what these things are. These are exciting times as the government has admitted that these mysterious objects are real. Years ago they would have been brushed aside as weather phenomena, military aircrafts, flares or blimps, but now it seems that it's got to the point that they're starting to be open about the topic. In fact, John Ratcliffe recently said the following: we are talking about objects that frankly engage in actions that are difficult to explain, movements that are hard to replicate, that we don't have the technology for, or travelling at speeds that exceed the sound barrier without making a sonic boom. While former President Obama had this to say: when it comes to aliens and UFOs, there's just some things that I can't tell you. What I can say, and I'm being serious here, is that there's footage and records of objects in the skies that we don't exactly know what they are. We can't explain how they moved, or their trajectory. They did not have an explainable pattern. So what do you make of these mysterious reports? And what do you think these crafts are? And who do you think they belong to? Be sure to leave your questions and answers in the comment section below, and help us to grow this community while working to solve these unexplained mysteries. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos.